Hello, welcome back to our nursing life. Woo. If you haven't seen our last video, please go check it out. It only has 2 views, and you're looking at the 2 views right now. So much appreciated. That took a week to film.
And even longer to edit.
Yeah, because it just went to upload to YouTube. It said it was going to take like 4 days to upload. Then it changed to like 11 hours, and it was a struggle. And you guys should go watch it. It's not that long. You can skip through it. We don't care as long as you watch to the end. That counts as a view. You can skip to the very end.
No.
I'd be happy with that because that's a view.
10 seconds.
You can skip to the end. You know?
But you should watch it. It was a good video, I think. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about study habits, how we study. We didn't prepare anything specific. We just sat down and decided to do the video. So the first thing that we usually do is we make a list of everything we need to do, whether it's by day, by week, 2 weeks, month, or whatever. We make lists. There's like paper everywhere filled with lists of things that we need to do.
In my dorm, I have a calendar, and everything that's due is written in that calendar. And every Sunday, I write out what's due every week, and then what I plan to do every day, so I know what I need to be checking off every Sunday, so I can stay ahead. Because I don't know if it says in our first video or not, but they tell us to take it 2 weeks at a time. I mean, take it a week at a time, but you really need to take it 2 weeks at a time.
Look at it, in my opinion, you should look at it by month. Like, I usually make a list of every single assignment we have due for the whole entire semester, and then just mark it off as I go. Mark it off as stuff is due. I write what it is, what class it's for, and when it's due.
Like today, we have a little checklist. I don't know if you can see it, but it says today we're supposed to do a quiz, a paper, a poster, 2 posters actually, one of our care maps, and then study for one of our tests coming up, which isn't too hard. We've already done a couple of those things. We just need to submit them. So, I mean, it's simple stuff like that. It doesn't need to be a fancy checklist. You can just write it on a notebook, piece of paper, and call it a day.
I usually write out my list on graph paper. It gives me boxes, pre-made boxes that I just need to trace to check off, and then they have, it has lines or whatever. That's where we start off with the studying, and then whatever it is that we're doing, me and her, we're like, we study together. We'll sit on teams. We sat on teams for one day for like 12 hours studying.
I mean, there was a lot of breaks in there.
Breaks, because I can only do 30-minute increments max. Sometimes 20, sometimes 15. 30 minutes max, and then I'm out. So if you're like me, take breaks. Don't study for 2 or 3 hours straight. You're not gonna remember any of it.
I don't know if all nursing schools use ATI or not, but if your nursing school uses ATI, there are built-in questions that help you study. So you can go through and then pick the class you're trying to study for, and it'll have you pick if it's easy, medium, hard, what you want to do, how many questions you want to do, and it gives you rationales. So that's a built-in little gem for ATI.
And then if you have online access for your textbooks usually have questions with them. Like we used to sit on Teams and literally go through all of the questions for the chapters that we were doing for that test. Now this semester is different. It's very different.
Unfortunately,
we scramble trying to figure out what to study. They give us a blueprint that helps sometimes. So if your teachers give you a study guide or something like that to help you study, and it actually helps, like, do it. Even if you think it doesn't help, do it anyway, because that's what we do. We do it anyway.
And do it in detail. Do it until you understand what the question's asking. Don't just answer it and then move into the next one. You don't know what you just answered. You have to understand what you just answered, or you're not gonna do well.
Yeah, like we split our study guide. Sometimes between the two of us, sometimes between 3, 4, whatever. We just split it up so that it'll be easier, and then whoever has what section, we just teach it. And then again, when you teach it to somebody, you have a better understanding of it anyway when you're teaching it. So find you someone to teach your information to, even if you're just teaching it to a wall. Like, teach it, you know?
Yeah,
it's easier for you to understand.
With nursing school, you can't do it by yourself. There's no person that's done it by themselves. They've had some type of study partner, whether it's your husband or wife. Someone has studied with you, because doing it by yourself is, you're not really gonna last, to be honest.
Yeah. Without my ace boon coon, no, I wouldn't.
It would have ended a long time ago.
Very much so.
Because it's been the two of us since the beginning, really. We've had a lot of people. Like, right now we have 3 people that we're solid with, and that's who we split our study guides with. So, as long as you have one solid person, that's good.
Yeah, plus, if y'all go and watch our first video, she tells you how we met, because, I have a bad memory when it comes to that.
I thought she was a child sitting next to
you in our orientation. Go watch the video. Go watch the video. Go watch the video.
She was a child. She still was like a little child, but a child with...
People think we're twins, like...
Yeah, we went to the hospital. We go to clinical together. She showed up 5 minutes before me, and a lady literally asked, did I just come here and get the same wristband? I was like, no. You would see it on my wrist if I just came and got the same one.
I don't even, we don't look... I guess with our masks on, we look alike, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess if we're dressed in white and green.
Our foreheads are different. I don't get it. Whatever. People don't pay attention to stuff like that.
Literally, people in our cohort can't even tell
they can't even tell us apart. They're like, Trinity, like, are you serious right now?
They got one of us on their mind.
Yeah, they always confuse us. Back to the studying. What else do we do to study? Oh, we have PowerPoints that we study from. If you're not a PowerPoint learner, I suggest going on YouTube and finding videos that explain everything to you. And then, what else?
There's this, I think her name is Sarah RN or something. And I was told the other day that her YouTube channel is getting sued by NCLEX because of how accurate she's explaining things that are on the NCLEX. So if you really want someone that's going to explain what you need to do for the NCLEX and explain each class to you as you're going through the semester, she's the one to go to. I don't know if it's Sarah or not, but she definitely has RN in her name. And she's currently getting sued by NCLEX because they think she has the access to their tests, which that just shows you how good of a teacher she is, because you only have access to the NCLEX once, and she took it years ago. Sorry.
What else can...
And then there's Khan Academy. Khan Academy it explains more of the path of things more clearly. It doesn't really explain anything else clearly to me, but it might work for you guys a lot. And then I do flashcards. So like the study guide, once I fill out my study guide, I then go write down what I just put in my study guide on a flashcard, and that way I can test myself. Because reading the study guide, I'm just gonna think I know everything because I know what I typed. But having the definition in the front and then flipping it, that just gives you a whole nother thing. And if you don't want to write it, you can make a Quizlet too, because Quizlet has games you can play, like matching It gives you practice tests with the Quizlets you create. Some gravity thing where it gives you the definition and then you type in what it is, and if it's right, I think you save the world or something silly like that. I don't know.
I never played that one.
I tried, but I was like 5th grade and we're in college, but I wasn't really entertaining. But it might be entertaining you guys, no shade. No shade.
But yeah, Quizlet, you know, we make flashcards like for questions that we know are matching, because like sometimes the teacher will tell you, oh, there's gonna be a match question like this, so then we try to the best of our ability to make Quizlet flashcards, because it's easier and uses less paper when you do it on Quizlet. But if you need paper, use paper.
And just a little tip for you guys, what I've noticed for the 2 semesters that I have done and the 3rd semester I'm about to finish is a lot of these practice questions, if you don't really feel like sitting there and taking the test on ATI, if you're on like chapter 27 in your PEDS book, type in the chapter 27 and the name of that chapter, then put Quizlet after it, and then give you a whole bunch of practice questions. Now, a lot of them aren't really on your test. If you think that's what I'm trying to say, it's just ways to practice and study. So you have an idea how the questions are formatted.
It gives you formatting, really and truly, and that's the biggest thing with nursing school, understanding the formatting of the questions. You can know the information all day, but if you don't understand the formatting of the questions, that's it.
Because there's a lot of questions that say except and including, or these two and this doesn't. You just have to read closely.
Yeah, I know when I reviewed my test, I messed up on all of them except this, or like stuff like that. You really have to pay attention to. Make sure you read the questions thoroughly when you're taking a test. But
and a tip, if it's something about when you walk into a patient's room, the first thing you do is assess. You don't call the doctor. The first thing you do is assess. If it says call the doctor as any of your answer choices, it's more likely not right, just to be honest.
We use dry erase boards sometimes.
Yeah, we do our study rooms on campus. Last 2 semesters, we were doing a study room in the library, but our nursing building has its own built-in study rooms. So we've just been going there and studying. And then that one's unlimited, our nursing building. The library only have it for like an hour. Then you have to go back down and renew it. And you can only renew it once. So you really have 2 good hours of studying.
And again, just to reiterate, take breaks. No amount of long-term studying is going to help you. And by long-term, I mean in one setting. Like if you're studying over weeks, an hour here, a couple hours there. If you're studying during the week, throughout the week, do it. Don't sit there and try and study 10 hours straight. Like, that's ridiculous. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially with don't do that. That is a surefire way for you not to remember anything that you studied. Give yourself however long you can go for. Like, sit down one day and time yourself and see how long you can go for it. I know for a fact that 30 minutes, that's the cap. That's it.
I can do probably like an hour and a half.
Hers is longer than mine. She'll be sitting there still studying, and I'll just be sitting there because I can't. I can't do it. So give yourself breaks for sure. I done said that already, but do it. It'll help you in the long run, even if it's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
And the night before your test, don't stay up late studying. If you've already studied this last week, 2 weeks, you know the material. You're going to psych yourself out trying to stay up at 3 in the morning studying for your 8 o'clock test. You know the material, sleep on it, wake up, and perform amazing. If you're like these schools that need 80s and above, you need all the rest you can get. Don't try to stress yourself out. Simple.
I refuse to do that. Have you ever done that before?
Stress yourself out?
No, stayed up late.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a hypocrite.
I won't do it.
I've stayed up late making, well, it wasn't for tests, I would say. It was making care maps and care plans.
Care maps and care plans. I'll stay up and do that because it needs to be done. It's just that simple. But for a test, studying for a test, absolutely not. Nope.
Yeah, I'll probably stop at like 12, like midnight. I'll stop at midnight, and then that's it. Whatever I know, and whatever I don't know, I'll wake up at 6 a.m. and study until 8 o'clock.
That's what when I used to, our first semester, we used to wake up at like 6. And then we used to go into the study room around like 6:37. Well, not a study room. It was like one of the rooms, the little rooms that they have.
Yeah, in the little
in our buildings. And we would sit there until like 7:30. And then we had to walk all the way to the nursing building is so far. It's probably not that far compared to bigger campuses because our campus is small, but we would wake up, flashcards, go.
Walking down the steps, walking up the steps.
Walking into the building.
Sitting at the desk 2 minutes before the test open.
Even what, a couple weeks ago when we took our, what was that, last week we took our PE test?
We didn't have it, 2 weeks ago we had it.
2 weeks ago, I drove around, I parked, and she was in the car. What's this? What's that?
But it did help a lot. But that class, they give a pretty decent blueprint, and there's a lot of practice questions that you can find that can help you.
Formatting, man. If you can find questions that help you with formatting, that's your ticket. As long as you figure out the information. Like, I know a lot of teachers, they'll give you mnemonics. What are those other ones called? Where it's like
bullet points?
No, not bullet points. They'll give you like little things for it to help you remember stuff, like pictures, like little sayings. What, like one of the little sayings? I don't remember those sayings, but if that helps you, you know, as long as you remember it. Not remember, learn.
Yeah, try not to brain dump.
Don't be like me. I'm a memorizer and then that's it. I memorize and forget. I'm more of an experienced learner. Learning from textbooks isn't my thing. That's why I have her.
Because it kind of is my thing. Kind of.
But that's why it's good to have a person. You find you a person, because things that she gets, I don't get sometimes, and things that I get, she don't get sometimes. And hopefully explain it to each other. Lives.
Very much so. If you guys have any questions, comment them down below. Our Instagram is the same as our YouTube channel, so go follow us on there, because 2 views, we didn't really do good promoting, so hopefully this one does well. And yeah, if you don't know, we go to the Jacksonville University School of Nursing, K1 School of Nursing, so that's where all of our experience is coming from.
That's creepy. That's creepy. We look like creeps doing that.